Hi, my name is Julia Crone, and I'm a digital learning coach for Keep Indiana Learning, and I'm also director of the Idea Lab at Plainfield Community Middle School. Today, what I wanted to talk to you about is going off of my Students as Creators series on YouTube, and I want to talk about a pseudo podcasting. So basically, this is a podcasting hack for people who teach educators who don't feel like they have the time to do a full-on podcast throughout the year or feel like they have the time or the means. I'm going to use this through Google Slides and then one thing that's called Vocaroo. First and foremost, I did tell you that I'm director of the IT Labs. I just wanted to show you the space, very resource rich. I do have different types of equipment like this microphone for podcasting, but I have found that teachers have wanted kind of like a hack of I'm interested in podcasting, but I don't have all the time to spend on it. And I find this to be a great solution. So what I'm going to show you is we're going to use Vocaroo in accordance also with Google Slides. So basically what Vocaroo is going to do, it's a site that allows you to record audio and only audio, so it won't be your video. And it allows that to either create a link that will expire after a few months, or the students can download the audio clip directly to their Google Drive. Here's an example. In 8th grade, we did the social reformer project, and basically students did a physical product that did a representation of the social reformer that they picked. This is a student example. They had a quote from Harriet on this, and this is just a Google slide that I copied from them. A quote from Harriet, a 6-word story, and then they had of why Harriet Tubman, of like why they created that sculpture and gave some information, and then they took a picture of their project. For this one was done in 7th grade, and students used Tinkercad. They used a Canva to create this basically awareness that we hung around the school building, and we did QR codes that took them to a Google site that students created of just awareness of the true cost of batteries. And you can listen to their solution down here, and so we hear their voice and they are able to give more information out. So let me show you how students access. They just look up Vocaroo. And when they look up Vocaroo, it's this simple, and I can start to record. So I'm going to press allow, and whenever I record, if I need to, I've got to pause for a second because my partners are going to switch, so I'm going to press pause, and then I can press play and continue on from there. The thing that is important is you can't go back. You can pause, but you're not able to go back and like erase little things. So once I press stop, let's say that was good. I can click here. I can listen to it. And then I can press save and share, and I can either copy that as a link or I can download it and it will go directly into my Google Drive. Now, what I do like to tell students is once we have it in our Google Drive, I do need to go back and make sure if I'm wanting my teacher to listen to it, depending, or other students as well, I've got to go and open my sharing settings. So, and then from there, what the students would do is they would go, if this was their slide, they would go to Insert, Audio, and that Vocaroo is going to show up right there in our Google Drive from May 23rd. I'm going to put in that audio, and then from there, it can happen automatically. It stops on slide change. They could loop the audio so it can continue going. And if I go to recolor, I can actually go down, and that's the one way if anybody wanted to change the color, I can resize it, and it can just be my voice that students are listening to. And a lot of times I also encourage them to like have an arrow of like click and listen, or as I said before, that audio playback, it can start to play automatically. So as soon as someone clicks over to the slide, you would automatically begin to hear their podcast. So that's just one of the things that I've been loving lately, especially, like I said, as like a pseudo podcast if you don't have as much time. This could also be something that I like to do of like exceeds expectations, that maybe I was having a project that students were turning in on Google Slides. Someone gets done earlier and I'm like, hey, make a Vocaroo and I want to hear your voice and I want to hear you explain your project or talk about what was difficult about collaboration. And so these are just little ways we can get used to students recording their voice. Thank you guys so much for listening. Like I said, I'm a digital learning coach for Keep Indiana Learning. I appreciate your time.